But if the crowd went up for this game, they certainly will be now. Pilu rings out here on a stunning day in the coaches' year. Leighton Hodges is the referee for this one. Party atmosphere, plenty of Ulster fans have made the trip over for what they thought might be a crucial fixture. Looks like it's going to be one-way traffic for Toulon, but Ulster need to stand up and fight. Young squad there brought over here. It's time to sink or swim.
Ready?
It is a fearsome sight
Right, you ready?
with their rugby superstars from around the world here in their backyard in near perfect conditions, hoping to wrap up a quarter-final spot this afternoon, and the first team to do so. Roger Wilson, the Ulster captain, takes the kick up, and immediately Ulster get the penalty. So important, the likes of Roger Wilson this afternoon, Derek.
Again, a good take from Roger, and that's what they'll need. They'll need a little bit of experience. Paddy Jackson starting out on his international career, and you mentioned it, Johnny, the anthem for Ulster, stand up and fight. And if they don't take the fight to Toulon, they could find themselves being pushed back into the Mediterranean. So they'll need the likes of Wilson, like you said, just to gain some yardage, get a little bit of platform, because they've got good backs out there.
Thank you. You have to release. Yeah. Yeah, kick it off, yeah.
Dylan Armitage, one of those players missing for Toulon, serving that ban, of course. Rather unsavoury comments overheard by Leicester fans. Good win for Leicester last night, wasn't it? Bonus point win for them. And it's a good win at the line-out. It's an area that also struggle with. They did against Treviso last week towards the back end of the game. In fact, the set piece in general has struggled somewhat. It's Jared Payne. He's knocked it on. First time in the number 15 shirt this season for Jared Payne.
And again, just forcing a little bit too much. It was good to see again Wilson straight in at the contact area, securing that ball. And again, Ulster would like to play with a little bit of width. But you're right, Johnny, the set piece did let them down in Treviso. 3 throws right at the end when they were going for the game, and going for a bonus point, and they did that early in the second half, where I think they should have gone for the points, and Treviso had to come out then and have a reaction. But they won the game. They're still in the Pro 12s, obviously fighting for that top 4 place, but it looks like obviously European glory has gone away from them. But they need to play today, because like we said, no one gives them a chance, and this is where it hurts the most, is in the scrum. But that's not too bad from Ulster.
Not bad at all. Andrew Warwick in that front row with Rob hanging, and Bronson Ross will do well to find a forward gear, won't they, this afternoon, against the likes of Girardo and Chocky and Castro Giovanni, internationals all. Over 500 caps here down in that starting 15 for Toulon.
560, Johnny.
Castro Giovanni almost up to that 22. They're lining up outside. Juan Smith. Mitchell goes into scrum half, but leaves it to the man with 9 on his back. It's Toulouse Sport. It's Mermoz. It's Sanchez. It's try number 1 for the champs. At times, they just play scintillating rugby. So many superstars who know the right thing to do at the right time.
Well, again, it's their sort of brutish beauty, isn't it, with the sun on the backs, Toulon. And really, you've got to say that Ulster's defence are the proverbial 6s or 7s. They don't quite know what's happening. It's just big runner after big runner, and really Hull just opening up, and that's inexcusable this early in a game. When you're getting a little bit tired at the latter stages, you could understand it, but not the best start from Ulster. Matt Gitto, the little genie, looks on. He's not required today because Sanchez has just scored a try. Halfpenny's converted, and as we thought, as we dreaded from an Ulster point of view, it's looking like one-way traffic. If you're going to pick holes like that or leave holes like that, Ulster, you're going to be under your post more than most this afternoon.
Yeah, and Halfpenny adds the 2, as you would expect from in front of the post. Lee Halfpenny back fully fit now, isn't he? Bit of a run-in with Murat Boujala earlier in the season about his injury. It's a groin injury, wasn't it? Looks firing now though, Lee Halfpenny. And who's won 55 caps away, 53 of them as a starter loose ball. The crowd again appealing for a high tackle. Siwan Smith. Ulster need to make their first up tackles here, or it could turn into one-way traffic.
Ominous signs once again. The balance of the team is outstanding. Obviously the experience is there, and that's what you get for your cash. Not only the quality of the players, but the experience. They've got World Cup winners, Super Rugby winners, European winners, obviously winning it twice. The referee's just having a word with Roger and the Ulster lads just to keep the tackling down. At least they're bringing men down. But again, I always say a good player is one that sort of just pops up wherever he is and he actually just plays the game. They just know where to play, whether you've got a 6 or 7 on your back and number 2 on your back and number 1. They love this offloading game, and it's the power. That's what happens. It's the power round the corner, time and time again, which saps your energy.
He retired though, didn't he? 31 months out of the game, Siwan Smith.
He has been, as we see some of his practice boat, I think he hurt a finger against Racing, so he's not required. Yeah, 31 months out of the game. I think Bacchus had a word with him, come and play over in the south of France, and he hasn't looked back. Armitage gets the headlines most of the time. Juan Smith has been outstanding.
That line-out being called by Jose Suter in the absence of Ali Willis. Ali Willis really stiff back, spoke to him earlier on. Maybe talking about his time at Nottingham actually with Martin Haag. But he's got a stiff back, he always calls the line and then Suter translates anyway.
What translates into French? With all these lads that are fluent French speakers in the pack. There's a couple there today, isn't there? But again, Ulster doing well, holding that ball up. Initially trying to choke tackle, it did get on the floor, but Nathan Hodges has deemed that it's a turnover, and that's what they'll need. And that's actually what they weren't very good at the Kingspan Stadium. When Toulon visited them, was the turnovers. Absolutely killed them. 20 turnovers in that game. They just couldn't get any position on the field, and again we talked about the power, Johnny, and that's what does for sides, especially over here. But when they go on the road, they'll play the same way. It's very effective.
Really, that solitary win against the Scarlets in round 3 for Ulster. Bobbles out, Nathan Hodges on the other side, so I think play will continue.
Backwards off red.
Went backwards from Toulon, so play is allowed to go on. It's Armitage into Suter in that second row in the absence of Ali Williams. Suter, Vitar Fifanoa. There he is, huge man. Castro Giovanni, Sanchez, Juan Martin Hernandez, not registered for this tournament. He was at 10 last week. We debated all week, didn't we, Darry, who would be 10, 12, 13?
I didn't know actually that he hadn't been signed, but I tell you what, he played superbly, and he can go in and out of games, as we know, with that guy, but he's not allowed to here. There's a team within a team. Gitto leads the forwards. I think Heyman does a bit in the backs. They're not allowed not to perform, as we see.
Bastro annoyed he didn't get the ball because he was on a brilliant line. You may remember that's when Mathieu Bastro announced himself to the rugby world, didn't he, when he's in a Stade Francais shirt a few years ago now against Ulster. It was back in the 2008-2009 season. Marseille. So much composure out there. Sanchez sees some space. Payne has to come across and the referee is coming back. And the crowd don't like it because Lee Halfpenny's dotting down underneath the sticks.
And this is where Johnny Bell's defensive policy and patterns have to stay true to their word. Sanchez, there's nothing in that actually. You've got to admire Bronson Ross, the Kiwi, just stands there and he runs into it. You are going to buy it at 10, isn't it? We see it so many times. He will appeal for the penalty, and the bounce of the rugby ball puts Halfpenny in, but they've come back for an infringement early on, and Penny will go for the goal, I'm sure, just to build the lead. This is what they do, the professional way of doing it. If a try comes along, fine. If not, get down the kill zone, get your points.
They do like to get out into a lead and stay there. All the big French teams like doing that. Just to go all statty on you for a moment, Darry, they scored 14 tries in the first half of their home games in the top 14. That's the same as Clermont Stade Francais, up with 17. So it's that getting out to a lead, teams coming to your home patch and saying, no, you're not going to be in the game, and then looking after that lead. Halfpenny looks to just increase that lead now up to 10 points. Fabulous kick of the rugby ball. Shows it again there.
That's where I think Dylan Armitage will be playing on the wing when he comes back from his ban, because this guy, when he's in, well, he's very never not in the vein of kicking that ball. He's just metronomic. We know Wilkinson's like that. But again, if Toulon are going to go and do things in the top 40, if they are going to win a third successive European Cup, they're going to need that guy to kick his goals. And at the moment, like I said, practicing, he didn't miss one. He hasn't missed one yet. He's superb.
79% coming into this game. It's 2 from 2 already this afternoon for Lee Halfpenny. Paddy Jackson to Rob Herring, no Rory Best today. Purely that saving those players, that the likes of Boat, likes of Gilroy, Rory Best as well for the visit of the Tigers next week, or beyond, and their Pro 12 campaign. Of course, Treviso at home the next game, and then Edinburgh away. They are in the hunt, aren't they, in fifth?
Yeah, definitely in the hunt. In the Pro 12, they're out of this one, and I've got to say, there's enormous support come out from Ulster. And a lot of the guys didn't, the supporters didn't sort of see the logic of leaving the likes of Best and Bow and Gilroy out, because they wanted to put their best side in. It's understandably, is that as long as these guys go and perform, because they've obviously their sort of focus has changed slightly.
Good run from Ross, and it's Pienaar now. Flicks it inside to Paddy Jackson. Really good attack for Ulster here. Van der Merwe. Jared Payne up from fullback. Pienaar again. They have missed it early parts of this season. And the South African number 9. He's back in harness with Paddy Jackson now, though. And it's Stuart Olding.
But Olding and Cave will dance for you all afternoon, and it's great. The flat passes, obviously Pienaar swimming that ball out to Paddy Jackson. They're getting nicely flat, and the forwards are getting on the end of it as well.
Trying to offload that ball, Ulster. Playing with nothing to lose at the moment. There may be it here. It's Paddy Jackson. Ulster respond straight away to that Lee Halfpenny penalty.
What do we say? Stand up and fight, and they're doing that. What a score. Sanchez drops out of the defensive line. Pienaar again, something he didn't do against Treviso, running at the defence. Paddy Jackson coming back at the angle. That's great play. Good clearance from the forwards again. 9-10 communicating superbly well. Payne going in, can't quite do it, but again the forwards are there. There's Sanchez going out. Lovely ball over the top. Superb over the top ball by McComish, and he's in. Good score, good momentum, good people to the breakdown, and a good step there. That's a response. That's a response.
And it's a fabulous pass, you say there, from the open side. Michael McCormish, it's only his 5th top-level European game. He hasn't played in the Champions Cup so far this season, and you're here at the home of the champions, having conceded an early try. That is some composure to think about that pass, let alone execute it. And Paddy Jackson can't add the 2, but that would have pleased these travelling fans. You say there's plenty of them over here, plenty of them bleary eyes this morning as well.
It's got a few in our hotel. I told them you have to get back on the horse, get out there, let's hear your noise, let's hear you from the stands. And they didn't have to do a great deal about this, Ulster. Just hold on to the ball, retain the ball. They make the mistake. Halfpenny tries to come in McCormish, but Sanchez, by dropping out, allows that gap to open up, and Paddy Jackson says thanks very much. Like I said, a good response. That's better. Doak will be happy with that. And all of a sudden they may not think that these guys are superhuman, then they're dropping the ball. That was a good kick and chase, and that's it. They're in the right area. The game has just slightly turned.
Smart sewing.
Time off.
Uncharacteristic mistake from him, isn't it?
As you see, the number 8's dropped back there, but the sun is going down on the right hand side, so it would have been directly into the sun. But you know, you should take that. But that's just what you want after you scored a try. You get straight back down there. You're in a good position, and like you said, these Ulster may be struggling a little bit as the Toulon coaching staff looks on as far as the experience in the forwards, the ball carrying potential there, but in the backs, like Sertain, Cave, Olding, Jackson, they can all do a bit. They can do more than a bit, obviously.
Bernard Laporte, man in charge of all these superstars, and it has been put to them, isn't it? They come down here for the money, know all about the vast and large checkbook that Boujal has, but he's recreated something here that they've lost for many years. Competitive team, far more than that, aren't they really? But to win a third title straight now would surely banish those accusations of just being money-grabbing mercenaries.
Bind!
I think that's gone with William when they win the French title, and obviously back-to-back Europeans. You know, if you play your money and get success, that's it.
Ball is out.
Did the double last season, top 14 title. Wonderful hands from Sanchez. Back-to-back Heineken Cups, top 14 title last year. So Mitchell just has the ball knocked out of his hand by Ludic. So Mitchell's gone down, injury to his left shoulder. And Toulon are back on their 22.
Off red.
Ulster getting themselves right back into this game.
That word fight, Johnny, that word, you got to do it. They're coming at you, hit them down. You've got 2 arms, 2 legs like everyone else.
Good release.
Felix Ford is in, and then just see that Armitage straight in, the pressure comes on, and that's good from Olding. Allowing himself just to get in there between the body.
I'll give you time.
Between the 2 red players. You can see Halfpenny calling for it. Olding's in there, bump, and then move the ball away. It's good play. Payne straight away into the midfield, get into your forwards.
And this is the area, this kind of moments when Ulster have to get it right. They've got the line out right. Only Treviso have the worst line out in this competition so far. Cave tried to give the offload, didn't he? Now Lee Halfpenny says there's space down there, and he's screaming after it as well. McComish has done brilliantly well. The man who gave the try-scoring pass is back there now. Paddy Jackson finds Jared Payne. Space for a moment. Stefan Armitage has a little dabble. Stefan Armitage to add to his 9 turnovers so far in this competition. Sanchez again. Breathless game, isn't it? Paddy Jackson. No excuse for the sun for Paddy Jackson.
This moment, Masoe makes the mistake a couple of minutes ago. You can't do this. Oh dear, Paddy. You just allow this big red bus now to just park itself in the 22.
There's a big bus, isn't it? Too long to go around him.
There's a bit of beef down there. Had a bit of beef last night, to be honest. That was very nice, but
it's a wonderful experience, isn't it?
Fantastic.
Talking to a few of the Ulster fans, and to get to the centre of the ground early, where Boujal walks his troops from the bus into the bows of the stand here.
Crouch!
It is all the Toulon fans. It's like a tunnel, don't
it's
they?
like a pantomime, and he's the pantomime villain, comes off, and he's got his big bouncers around him, and then these guys come and it is superb.
Stay.
Scrum is solid for Toulon. Toulouse ball waits. They're trying to straighten it back up. Penalty coming to Toulon. Sanchez is smashed. Referee is playing some advantage. Juan Smith. Toulouse ball. Halfpenny. Plenty of defenders in front of him. So Halfpenny says, I'll just knock it forward for Habana, and he chases down.
Where was the offside?
His fellow countryman, Van Pinar, and there's a nice moment there between the Springboks.
Okay.
We'll get winners.
Okay,
Lovely.
first
Sanchez
defence, scrum breaking up.
Armchair, right,
Second
that's
defence,
good.
13
Again,
offside.
good tackling, there's
13
no
is
problem
more
there. Jackson's a little bit
advantageous.
miffed with him dropping that ball.
Offside,
That he should have
13.
taken, but again, he's
First
White are
defence,
offside, they're
scrum
too
coming up.
quick off the
Second
line.
defence is offside.
And this should have been easy, well, it will be an easy 3 points for Halfpenny, and again, the lead will be building.
I don't think there was enough.
But again, it's sensible play from Halfpenny. Like I said, Habana's called it. Ruan Pino sweeping like every good 9 should do, cutting off that risk into that corner, but coming off the line. And again, they have to try and press as much as they possibly can. Ulster to stop Toulon having the time on the ball, because if you give these guys with experience out there, they will carve you apart.
Try last week against Treviso and Toulon. They scored some really nice tries, and in patches this season they have been really good. Also, it's the 80-minute performance that they have been struggling to put together. This man doesn't struggle to put together kicks, does he? Three more for the Welshman, three more for the champions.
Well, I think that's what does every side, really. It's the consistency. I think Leicester have been struggling a little bit, even though they had that lovely big win last night. That gives them hope. Ravenhill next week, that'll be an interesting encounter. But yeah, you've got to play for the full 80 minutes, and they did play well for those first 40 against Treviso, 3 tries, and they just went off script. You know, they went for, as I said before, they went for the touchline and going for the catch and drive rather than the poles.
Quarter-finalists, of course, in the last 2 years at Heineken Cup, and of course that final back in 2012. But they have lost a lot of leaders within the side. The retirements of Muller, Stephen Ferris, Paddy Wallace, Chris Henry, of course, out with a heart condition.
Henderson, Nick Williams, we can go on, and big players. I mean, big key ball-carrying players that buys you and your team, time. So they know they're up against it. They're ravaged with injuries, but it's a great opportunity for the youngsters to come in and say, right, yeah, we're up against the best. We want to try and be the best, and sometimes it can work. And as long as they keep the ball in the right areas and do the right thing and don't get isolated and don't have too many turnovers, you could be within this game come the last 20.
Good side, yeah.
Let's see the full injury list then. Derek Tui as well. Herbs, McCloskey,
number 13 making the tackle whilst on the floor.
Luke Marshall out with concussion as well. So that it's been a long injury list all season, but generally that quarter-final against Saracens to knock the wind out of their sail, of course.
McCloskey, yeah, sorry, I'm just going down the list again. It did. I mean, have they really recovered from Jarrod Payne and that sending off in a game that they thought it could have been Ulster's, it could have been, could what's ifs, maybes, but they've got to put that aside. Other teams have injuries. I mean,
33-10 Saracens. I think Munster earlier on today on 17 match points. Of course, they'll have to go to Marcel Michelin next week.
Right.
Ulster here.
See a good setup here. Ball at the back. They'll try to sack it Toulon, but they keep moving.
Cornish at the back. Pienaar directing operations. So brilliant at it. Armitage's just come round, but he may not be able to do anything about it. Ulster fighting back yet again. Leighton Hodges says it's advantage. Ulster think they've scored a try, but Leighton Hodges has walked back 5 metres.
Just going to check it first.
Muscular effort from Ulster. It really was. Not many people
can you hear me?
do that to Toulon.
He's a big unit, isn't he? Cornish there, and he had a good platform in front of him. It's all about platform.
There's no try. It's going to be a penalty 6-side entry, okay?
It's going to be a penalty, and you can hear
that's all you need to know, okay?
Talking there. It's going to be a penalty 6-side in the side.
Simo, can you
did
hear me?
anyone get this down?
It's try yes or no.
Cornish with 7, the blonde guy there.
Yeah, thank you.
You can see he's down, but you can't see from that angle. And I don't think you'll be able to see from that angle or this angle.
You Gareth Simmons, a television match official in the host broadcaster's truck. Just a short patch of land between the stadium here and the sea.
It's interesting because all the Ulster forwards are back on the halfway line as we see replay after replay. Paddy Jackson's gone to get the ball. He thinks they're trying to kid the TMO maybe. Is this an angle?
But it's the question, isn't it, Derek? Try yes or no, not is there any reason I can't award the try? And the question that has been asked is try yes or no.
You can see the ball down there, and if that's the...
It's a tight one for me to call from here. So
it's a difficult one because Pienaar, as you would, applaud to the referee, we've got it down. The ball is on the floor, it's whether it's over the line. And again, you will not be able to see from this angle. You can see the ball. Keep watching. Keep watching. Roll it on. There it is. McCormash is down on the ball. That ball is grounded. It's weather. We've got an angle. There it is. No problem. His fingers underneath it, but that ball has gone down. It's whether it's on or over the line, or touching the line is enough. I don't know again whether we'll see from this angle.
We're going to see from there, are we?
But you've got to say, Leighton Hodges is in possibly the best position.
And he walked away immediately, Darren. It's probably an important point to make.
Well, the crowd don't like this because obviously they believe it hasn't been grounded, but they can't see. There's replays being shown in the stadium, so that's why they're voicing or whistling their opinions.
There's two big screens here. One of them you down to our right-hand side.
Here we go.
And they award the try.
It has been awarded. It has been awarded. And look at the reaction of Mike Comics.
We all like an underdog, don't we? Glum, sullen faces. Long way to go, as you say, but 2 tries so far in this game for Ulster. Just 1 for Toulon. Well. There's a cabinet meeting going on.
Crowd unhappy, whistling, not Paddy Jackson in unsporting fashion, but the decision by the referee and the television match official, Gareth Simmons. It was this angle, wasn't it, Derek?
It was, and it was a good catch and drive initially. You could see Castro Giovanni trying to bring it down, but they kept the control, kept the patience. He's a big lad. I remember we were down pitch side, weren't we? He came past us, so his strength at the back and his driving ability, superb. And that's gone forward. And turnover.
Advantage
and it's
over.
Jared Payne. And Ulster spoke, didn't we, before the game, just how teams can be blown away here. We were here round 1 last year when Glasgow visited Daria.
Best 40 minutes of rugby I have seen from a side, not only Toulon, from a side. Unbelievable stuff.
Virtually 0.2 minutes. Pierre Mignoni gets his opinions and the instructions onto the field, because Toulon are in a real fight here. Only 23 minutes gone, but it's 13 points to 10. 2 tries to Ulster. I was talking to Louis, as I said earlier on, as the man who's calling the line out in his absence. Suter takes the line out, saying, well, we're one of those teams that performs when we need to perform. We're just doing enough. Ludic, fullback last week on the right wing this week. He's going to turn that ball over.
Sorry, Johnny, he's hurt himself as well. He's very brave going down that ball. The South African, I think, is in a lot of pain. But again, it's interesting to see what's happening with Toulon. They try and take the ball from the line and drive a little bit, boom, and then they offload. And you put pressure on Sanchez, he can go, and all of a sudden he's squirting these passes out that are bobbling all over the place.
They're in possession, okay? And going forward.
They're in this game.
They're on possession on the floor.
He's been put under a huge amount of pressure, isn't he?
Smashing, get into
Sanchez.
Get into the 10.
Okay. He's saying that we're now just coming closer for the pass.
I mean, Ulster got pinged for going up too quickly in the line, but I would keep going and going and going. You can just see there, that's halfpenny, nothing. Obviously, it's not malicious in there, but sometimes you've got to commit yourself and you will get a stray knee.
White had possession of the ball on the
stray knee right in the
then becomes
kidneys,
unplayable,
right
and
in the
White
back.
are going forward.
Hopefully he's fine. He'll just
Captain
may have just winded him as well. And like you said, he's a good step in 15. He played there last week, but needs must. He's on the wing. He was at 15 last week, and there's Lobe, one of the best back row forwards I've seen. Of course, he went off, didn't he, after the first minute at Ravenhill. And Gitto after about 25 minutes. So, but they had a bit of experience to bring on.
Alexander alongside him as well, one of the 5 players named in the Philip Sandal's French Six Nations squad. Guardo another, Tafifanoa another, Toulis Board and Bastro as well.
So it is going to be a change.
Ludic, it's nasty.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? We're looking at the bench. We've got 2 scrum halves, Marshall and Heaney. Humphreys is a 10. I mean, Payne can move up or whatever, but you wouldn't want this early on in the game, would you?
Absolutely not. No recognised outside back, as you say. And Paul Marshall has got some serious pace about in the scrum half. There's nobody warming up for Ulster at the moment below us. Well, let's see it. Humphreys actually just taking the tracksuit off, wearing 22.
Change already been made.
Boozle out. This fortunately claps. It's very shaky indeed, Louis Ludick.
Okay.
That's a shame.
It's going to be
That
here
really
like
is a
where he was
shame.
then. That's why we couldn't do.
Humphreys will be coming on. We'll have to see where he comes on. Probably the wing.
I think so.
Yeah.
Ludick involved in all 5 of the Championship Cup games for Ulster this season. At fullback, it's the first time he's been pushed out onto the wing with Jared Payne.
I think Humphreys is looking at the coaching stuff. Where, wing, what? Where do you want me to go?
Well, opposite Brian Habana.
Michalak. He's still injured, isn't he?
Let's come back. Time back on. It's unplayable.
Yeah, just
White
getting that
possession,
shoulder.
going forward, white scrum.
Same shoulder he had the operation on to do last season. And out for a while. That's why Sanchez, who was signed earlier on in the season, of course, Martin Hernandez as well, with James O'Connor going back to the Reds.
It looks like Payne has gone to the wing.
Crouch!
Paddy Jackson standing out on the right, and Humphreys has moved on to the left hand side. You can't see it. Obviously,
Set!
I can see it from commentary position, but Payne is definitely on the right. Jackson's moved to just outside Pienaar now, and he's about to get the ball if he doesn't kick it.
Good scrum
Gone down by
for
Red.
that Ulster.
A terrible kick.
Front row, Pienaar will say that he knew the penalty was
Down
coming.
by Red.
Annoyed with himself. He was practicing those before the game, and a couple of them were going that way. Scrum collapse though, isn't it? And it's Xavier Chocky.
And you can see Pienaar, he's overcooked this one. They have got the wind at the back. There's a bit of a breeze out there.
Is how dare the wind blight what is a perfect day for rugby.
It is a bit cold.
It does come off the sea, doesn't it? Open stand on our right hand side.
So you've got your duffel coat on. I'm just in normal t-shirt. It's not that cold, but again, he wouldn't have liked that, but he could come back for the initial penalty from that scrum, and that's good, and that's what they've got to do. Also, you've got to stay in the game and take everything that's possibly coming, and that was a good hit. I'll take the word hit out of it. That's a better scrum. Holding in there, they folded in. Chocky's folded in. The referee's seen it, and again, good position.
Andrew Sheridan, of course, side as Xavier Chocky, Menini filling in that number 1 shirt. Good run from Mike Allen.
Great run, ball back inside.
Vantage Red.
Loose passes
Two knock-ons,
flying
first
around
white,
for
second red.
both teams.
First knock on white, second red.
You have to say, it's hats off to Ulster for trying to play some rugby in the face of
Red ball.
this Toulon side.
First knock on
Without a
white.
doubt, Darren Cave unfortunately couldn't hold on to that. That's the break from Michael Allen, and that's what you want. Ball back inside against the grain. Forwards quickly to there, quick ruck ball. Paddy Jackson spinning these balls out flat. And sometimes, you know, you think you've won the game before, you just have to turn up. Baster has been incredibly quiet. He was outstanding against Racing. No, he didn't play against Racing the week before, sorry. He's a handful, to say the least, but he's been incredibly quiet out there today because they've just not had the momentum. And fair credit to Ulster, they've just got a bit of territory. They've got a bit of ball, scored those 2 tries.
Bernard Ford just warming up the hairdryer as he speaks for half time.
I think they need a bit more of this now. Chris Masoe, the captain, said, right, we've had enough of that. Let's get the crowd on the side. Let's get a bit of go forward.
They've gone quiet as well there.
Yep.
It's a really good point. They do feed off it. Every side does, of course, but they have been quiet here. It's because Ulster have come right back into this game and say we're not just going to lie down and allow the champions to grab a quarter-final spot straight away.
Well, you thought for the worst, didn't you, when Sanchez scored that first try and it just basically opened up. There was gaps all over the place. And we think, well, come on, lads, play, you've got to stick in this, and they've done it. They've responded superbly. And now this has got to be as clean as possible. Herring's got to hit his man. There's 2 big second runners out of Van der Merwe's a good lad. Alan O'Connor, big piece. That's a good line now.
Taken in.
And he lost, of course, against Leicester at Welford Road for Toulon.
Off his boot.
13 match points coming into this game. But better match points against Leicester, and that will come into it. should need be. Leicester will visit Ulster next week. Toulon will go to the Scarlets.
Go by the side, no problem, go by the side.
They're just standing so flat. This is the way Toulon like to play, and then they just offload from the big forwards. But at the moment, they're just so pedestrian that Ulster can just pick them off. And
Ball is there.
they turn the ball over.
And O'Connor saw it. It's Darren Cave wants to kick through. Paddy Jackson offloads.
Take it in.
Holding. Downtown. Mitchell has to shield that son. I thought that Basso was going to take the pass. Mitchell thought so as well, because he created from a 3-on-3 to a 3-on-1. Macho Basso just doesn't seem to be at the races so far this afternoon.
No, slightly out of sorts. Things aren't happening for Toulon. Everyone's looking around, asking someone else to do the right thing. You see Mitchell, the sun's coming strong, but you're right, he makes this into a good move. Unfortunately, Halfpenny overruns him. But Olding did the right thing there, using his experience as a 10. He's playing obviously centre today. Get the ball back, don't mess around it in your 22, just hoof it down, and hopefully they make a mistake, and they have. Ulster in the right part of the field again.
Marcus here, lads, if you want to come on the mark, just come over here. Yeah? Who's just left you?
First visit to the male. Majority of these Ulster players. First time these two have been in the same European pool. Of course, 23-13 it was back in round 2 in October. It was a fully professional away victory for the champions. For the King's Pat, here's Olding.
Another good scrum, so get it in, get it out. No, don't mess around with it. Now they've lost the ball.
To look after that ball though, don't they? The banner comes away.
Advantage over.
I think Jackson's down now on that right-hand side, holding his. It looks like his arm, and he looks like in a lot of pain, and I hope it's not as bad as it looks.
You have seasons like it, don't you? And players just drop like flies. Of course, Herbston and Tui injured last week. Girardo, Sanchez has got Mitchell outside it. Puts the boot on it. Pienaar. And against each other in the Rugby Championship for their countries. Sanchez and Pienaar. Payne takes on the kicking responsibilities. It's not foul touch. It's found another South African. Smith. Masoe. Not seen him drop the ball so much for a long time. Bastero trundling up that wing. Habana. Brian Habana settles his crowd down, settles the team down.
Ulster down to 14 guys because Paddy Jackson is just creeping off the field. Looks like a bad injury to his arm, so they were down one man on that far side. I'd like to see that again. It won't matter, but I think that pass was forward. Flat at best. But again, it just comes out of nothing. The sweep goes out, you can see where Jackson's injured, and the first time Bastero does something, there's a man over there, they use that well. And look at Habana. Habana is in front. Habana is in front of Bastero. There has to be a forward pass. But the referee was so far behind. That looks that doesn't look too backward anyway, from Armitage to Bastero, but we won't see it from that angle. It won't matter because again Hodges has given the try, and Pienaar, I've got to say, has earned his corn. He's been everywhere, sweeping up from the back, trying to tackle people, and that's not a great sight.
Van der Merwe tried to tackle Vanna as well. It's really sad to see Paddy Jackson going off, holding that left shoulder. Some real discomfort. Luckily the strike from Halfpenny. Still 2 points, and it's another score from their own half, and Toulon like to do that. It's the 6th try from their own half
We can see
in this
it.
competition.
Sorry, Johnny, we can
Just
see
watch,
here
the
maybe
pass is
how
flat. I just watched it, the pass is flat.
what has happened. I can hear Leighton Hodges. Leighton Hodges, the referee, saying, I saw it, the pass was flat, so I think somebody's asked him. Doesn't matter, but that's not a good sign. I hope it's not as bad as it looks. All the medical staff around there is in good hands, so what it does obviously do to Ulster, Humphreys now definitely moves to 10, and I think is it Marshall, scrum half. It is Paul Marshall's on the right wing.
Sticky plaster over this Ulster side at the moment. Should have built a bigger treatment room because it has been that full all season, and also of course won't want to make that the excuse for having a poor showing in this Champions Cup by their own standards.
Well, interesting, Marshall now has come to the left wing. Michael Allen has gone to the right wing, so it's all change.
A change on the scoreboard as well, isn't it? 20 points to 10. It's far more of a cushion for Toulon. Humphreys, of course, will slot in at 10 now.
They've just got to keep the patterns, and that's good from Humphreys, mixing it up. Again, the wind is with Ulster at the moment, so they've got a little bit of advantage there. Just get a good chase up there, and we've seen how Toulon can fumble the ball.
The ball is there.
We're in about second gear at the moment, Toulon, aren't we?
Scored a try against Ulster at the King's Pan, didn't he? Brian Habana scored one against Ulster here on home turf. Bastro suddenly just spots into life, and so does Mitchell, and Mermoz thought he should have got the ball when Mitchell put it inside to Armitage. But it's that offloading ability again from Toulon. It's changing the point of attack.
And it starts from this guy, Johnny. Two guys into the tackle. That's Wilson. And they just get the ball out. He gets his arms free because he's such a big unit. Again, it's the intricacies of the passing game, offloading game. That really wasn't on for Mermoz. But that's what makes it. And then you've got a big back row forward on your shoulder. Drew Mitchell has passed that ball almost before he's caught it. And that's what they can do. But again, like I said, they're in second gears. Doak looks on. He'll be proud with his efforts from his nearly the first 40.
Well, his 20-year association with the Province. Neil Doak, 76 caps. Inverted commas for Ulster.
It's a new coaching setup, isn't it? You know, Davy Humphreys is down at Gloucester, so you know everything needs time to bed in. And then on top of that, you put all the injuries. And look, everyone's learning in this game. Again,
Sanchez slips it through. He got the call from Mitchell, didn't he? Jared Payne just hurries a kick away in the end. Of course, the man played in the 13 shirt for Ireland in the autumn internationals.
But who's there again? Comes off an Ulster player, as every good nine should be watching this. Any sort of youngsters watching, a good nine should be sweeping. There's another good nine, but he's playing on the left wing.
Bastero to the sport now. It's Suter and Toulon are looking for something more, looking for some more of those offloads. Only Toulouse have offloaded on average more than Toulon in this competition so far. Up against Bath, of course, tomorrow. Toulouse. Sanchez, they are going to score another one, are they? It's Bastero rolling his way to the line.
No tackle, just a leg.
Why run and dive when you can roll? Try number 3 for Toulon.
There are many varied ways to score a try. Davy Smith looks on. He said, I could have done that better. Sanchez is proving a little bit of a pain, isn't he, for the Ulster defence? He's just getting there, and that's the way to do it. He's built like a barrel, and the barrel is rolled over. 1, 2, 3. Well, there you go. 3 tries already. Again, they haven't been at their best so far, but they just seem when they need just to up it a little bit, an extra %. You know, as Juan Smith makes the actual bust up the middle, and all of a sudden it becomes too easy. Again, with those 2 serious injuries to Ulster, they've been pulled pulled apart slightly.
Not missed. Half penny this afternoon. Still down to 6. Number 6, Carlhaven, regular captain. Like a ripple of applause from the All Black, retiring at the end of the season, of course, alongside Ali Williams. I was talking about going back to New Zealand and playing, but he's going to retire, Carlhaven. And how he dearly loved to retire with unprecedented 3rd European title.
And I read something that thought a World Cup might be nice as well. That could be quite interesting on selection. Hanson's selection for the All Blacks, because he's playing some good stuff over here. He's playing with a lot of talent, mind you.
And when you're playing around those kind of players, you're up your game. You're talking about Hernandez earlier.
Yeah.
Same for him.
It's the influence of, we see it throughout the Premiership and the Pro, it's the influence of big experienced South Africans, Kiwis, and invariably they do enhance the side. You know, Buck Shelford at Northampton, Tim Rodbill earned a tremendous amount from that great forward and became a great forward himself, so you know it rubs off, you're right.
Final minute of this first half then. New wave of boots.
That's going back 20 years now. They're the ankle boots. Probably weigh about 3 ounces though, those. Very fashionable.
There's a down bow. There was strength and conditioning coach about them. Those new fangle-dangle boots. And steel toe caps in those, Harry.
Do they make you any faster?
And they're not using a leather ball either.
Yeah, bum bum.
Well, so
he's still carrying for Toulon, though, isn't he? Straight out in the midfield, their go-to man.
Holding on to it as well now. Sanchez. Halfpenny was there, and luckily, shocking. Didn't really fancy it, did he? And then it's kicked ahead by Armitage, and they will take the knock on. Ulster looking to turn that ball over. 27 points to 10. 3 tries already in the bag for Toulon as Bernard Laporte goes down to the changing room for his half-time chat.
2 tries for Ulster, so they've played their part in this.
If they were to get the bonus point win, Toulon, here this afternoon, it would be the first team into those quarter-finals.
Straight and square, both sides.
Still with a round of games to go. Bernard Laporte and Freddie Michalak.
Crouch!
Long lost friends.
Bind!
So long, Freddie Michalak.
Set!
Clean up, one of those scrum for Ulster, and it's a free kick for them. Does Pino want to do? Roger Wilson says.
Wrong timing.
Pop it out, and we'll have a cup of tea. Pienaar puts it into the corner. Mitchell has to go back. Second over the line, isn't he?
And that will be
Walks it out, and that is half-time. And Toulouse, the champions, started so brightly. Ulster came back with 2 tries, but then Toulon, they put the pedal on the metal. 27-10 at half-time. Now Toulouse looking for the bonus point, and Nicolas Sanchez started it off. 3 tries already for the champions, looking for a 4th.
Both sides aren't doing much, so it's like Toulon are in second. Yeah. Pretty poor on Ulster, another 2 guys on.
And that's just what Toulon have got. They've got oodles of experience, oodles of talent out there. They're 3 tries up, they just need another one for bonus, and they're off to Parker Scarlets next week.
3 tries already started. Michael Sanchez, the guys are saying at half-time, wonderful first 40 minutes, and Ulster just having to try and patch together a team already. They've lost Paddy Jackson. A worry for them, a worry for Ireland with the Six Nations just around the corner. Ian Humphreys is now in the fly half slot, and he gets this second half underway. Ludic also off the winger. Paul Marshall on the wing. Jarrah Payne is still at fullback. David Smith, Nkuadzi, Gogodzi. Incredible array of talent on that bench, just warming up for Toulon, should they be needed. Some talent on the Ulster bench as well, isn't there, with the likes of Declan Fitzpatrick, Lewis Stevenson, Robbie Diak. Some cavalry, we got the feeling they didn't particularly want to use them. No love lost between Ulster and Leicester over the last couple of seasons. The European competition is holding, goes through. Again, it's that offload, doesn't quite come off for the men in white. Chuba Sport trying to drive him back over his own try line. Penalty to the home team.
And attacking wise, Sanchez is a handful, but defensively he can be a frailty. He jumped out that line initially for the Jackson try in the first half, and he's just got basically run through by Stuart Olding. It was a good take from Wilson initially, the ball comes out, Pienaar does well, giving it to Olding.
You can't have 2 receivers, you clearly
And
have 2 receivers.
Armitage doing well just to snag him down, but you can just see here, Olding really just straight through Sanchez, and that's the problem. You've got to have the whole court game, you've got to have your defence as good as your offence, and if a side finds a weakness, they'll keep running at you all afternoon.
Just getting an injury update. Both Louis Ludic and Paddy Jackson have gone to hospital. Suspected dislocated elbow for Paddy Jackson, and top ribs for Louis Ludic. Just those are the guesses medically at the moment. They've both been whizzed off to hospital. Stuart Olding now down as well, and it's an incredibly long list of injuries that also have had to contend with this season, and that list just getting longer by the minute, Dowie.
Yeah, but I think Olding will be fine.
Hear what you're saying about the
Ali
numbers.
Williams having a word.
You're not very quick either.
Delmas.
So be on it quick. Let's just, on both sides, I've spoken to them and asked them to get the numbers quicker.
But it is part and parcel of a physical game. You can see Armitage doing very, very well. Basically getting Sanchez out of jail. It's a good break straight through the 10, and that's what you want a 7 doing. Just covering right in behind. I'm not going there, so don't look at me like that. There is not enough exceptional circumstances for Armitage to be anywhere near the England side at the moment.
Not the fact that he's exceptional.
Or European Player of the Year, or great tackle from him. Again, Toulon looking for that bonus point, the 4th try. I think Saurioli's on, he's not a bad person to bring on, he likes to carry the ball, and his darts are pretty good as well.
Good first start, wasn't it? And it's Armitage into Bastero. Scored a try in that first half and showing that physicality. Sanchez, lightning quick hands from him. Halfpenny goes down the tram line. Met by Ruan Pienaar, who, as you said in that first half, now he has covered virtually every blade of grass here for the Mail this afternoon.
Well, he's had to really, he's had to be the sweeper at the back. Number 8 can do that, but again, it's so interesting to see when Toulon take the ball up, whether it be Bastero or an Armitage. Initially start the movement going there, it's left or right, the calling's going. Sanchez again just sees it so quickly when he's got going forward, and he's got people asking questions of defences, popping the ball left and right, and that's how dangerous these guys are. They never want to die with the ball.
Toulouse and Flo Moore in this competition. Rob Herring comes round. The Toulon players don't like it, referee does. Here come Toulon with that power play. If we can get the ball out there, Ulster again have turned it over. Humphreys is screaming after this, as is Toulon Sport. Halfpenny's back there as well, having to do some dirty work now. These Toulon superstars. Rioli is in at scrum half. It's a neat pass to Drew Mitchell. Mitchell puts them all on side. Jared Payne. There's a cross field. Never really looked like passing.
He had no other option because all the forwards, most of the players now on the left-hand side, so he couldn't really. It would be a kick to nothing, but he had no one really to pass to on the right.
And Numurba, Herring. He's got Marshall outside him. Marshall, scrum half by trade, having to fill in on the wing. Filled in very well there though, and Ulster have the advantage, and that's the Toulon 22. And here comes Jared Payne again, and here's Cave. Well, so he boots it out, and we will come back
11 and 16
for the advantage the Leighton Hodges has played.
Great play from Ross. The tight end, and we can see this, the end of the movement, and that's lovely from the hook. Watch Herring now, back inside to Marshall again. Scrum half playing on the wing, but he can jink. Absolutely does Sanchez. And then just looking for a little bit of support. Good play. You've seen Toulon offload quite a bit this afternoon. But I'll still like to do it as well.
Number 12,
they're in a position to turn down the 3, obviously, because they need more than that.
Number 12.
They'll just walk to that, make sure. And we've got another sub coming on.
12.
Another scrum half. We've got 3 out there now.
Yeah, 3 scrum halves. Mike Heaney is the man who's come on. Stuart Olding's got off. He is an important part of the Ulster machine, Stuart Olding.
So, goodness knows, does Heaney go to 15? Jared Payne standing in an outside centre at the moment. Well, no, we'll find out in a bit. Firstly, the forwards want to go, and that's the good set.
Scored. Collins tried from it, didn't they? Tina. Plenty of runners for him. Smith and Armitage try and turn that ball over. Jared Payne. Bastereau held it up really well. He is a big physical man and used every ounce of that strength then, Matteo Bastereau, to hold up Jared Payne from scoring a third Ulster try.
Held up.
Well, I think Payne made the right decision there. You can see Bastereau just secondly on the tackle. Was it Mars first? Yeah, combining very, very well defensively. They're doing the attack pretty well, but defensively they're good. Wilson, as ever, just driving him over, hopefully trying to roll over, a bit like Bastereau scored that third try for Toulon. It isn't to be now, but it's the likes of Warwick, Herring, Ross, O'Connor, Van der Merwe. Now they need to put a good bit of weight into this scrum. There's options all over the place, especially with the nous of Pina.
Only lost one of their last 11 Championship Cup ties. That was against Leicester in round 3, Toulon. Never been beaten here in their home venues. That's 12 from 12 here at the Rail. One in Marseille, one in Nice. Armitage turns it over, then gives it straight back to Ulster. Jared Payne, it's come off an Ulster. No, Toulon have. In Gerardo. This afternoon is over.
It's a knock on into
Clive Ross as well. You can see they worked as initially a good job with Herring and Ross, and the power comes on Armitage as they just can't hold the ball. The call comes. You can see him swimming up the side and just getting in the way of that pass. Wilson can't get that there, but Clive Ross does a good job there of shoveling up some rubbish. Payne gets the ball back, unfortunately can't get the ball again into Marshall, who's playing on that right wing.
Ulster still with possession. Van der Merwe. Nigel Wilson had that stint to Northampton, didn't he? All coming back. To the Ospreys tomorrow, Northampton. That pool 5. 15 match points themselves. Northampton. Toulon with a penalty.
It's a turnover by Red and then White has killed the ball. A turnover by Red and then White is killed.
just trying to create something. And Comish just getting the ball. It's a turnover initially by Red, and I think it's probably Armitage somewhere underneath there, and then it was killed by White. So unfortunately the last two set pieces, one a scrum and one a line out, not going as good as it possibly could for Ulster. They scrambled that one away from the line out. Somebody's in there. Doesn't matter, again, like I said, the penalty's given, they move up the field the 10 metre.
And we spoke at the beginning of this game, Daria, about Toulon, the dominance of this competition in the last couple of years. Of course, it's only their fourth time they've been in the top level European competition, and now it may be damaging to Ulster, but Ulster continue to play that they've been playing this first 49 minutes. They'll come away from this game with real heart, these youngsters. It's a great experience for most of them, the first experience here at the Stade Felix Mail against all these superstars. It turn into a real positive for them and spur them on for the rest of the campaign.
I think Thiele's ball is lucky that the referee had his back to it, because that just basically was a knock on. Did he actually touch the ref? He wants to put the accelerator, and he does. I'll take it back slightly. But if you're going to take it, make sure you take it in the right area. And now you said pedal to the metal. They want to flick a switch here, Toulon. They want to go into the corner, which is a pretty good kick. They've nearly got that 5 metre. They're about 7 metres out. Again, they've had a meeting. Suter's calling the shots out there. They know exactly where it's gone. Substitute hooker. Orioli's just marching to the try line. Sorry, not quite to the try line, to the touch line.
Sorry, no, you say great kick from Sanchez, who is having a really good afternoon. Top scorer in the Rugby Championship, Nicolas Sanchez, 30 caps for Argentina now. Round the front, Castro Giovanni!
Just need to check it.
Tom Whitford, the Toulon team manager, applauds. Bernard Laporte on his feet. Question is going to the television match official again. Try yes or no. They do like to play around the front of the line out. Toulon, we've seen it before. Smith, Castro Giovanni on his shoulder. Can Wilson do anything about it?
No. Well, I can tell you all at home, the papers have started to go up. They normally do. And the bonus point try is scored. It hasn't quite been given yet. It will be any second. And the Welsh referee, Leighton Hodges, I think they just want to see this. If only there was some fish and chips in those papers, which you'll be seeing any second now, I'm sure.
Like the point of the ball is on the white line.
The point of the ball's on the white line. It doesn't matter, because that's deemed a try. The whistle has been blown. 4 points in the bag.
There is the bonus point, and there go the papers. They know they had to respond to Leicester's bonus point victory last night at home. We suspected they would probably do it, but there is the fourth try for Martin Castro Giovanni on his 73rd appearance in the Heineken Cup and Champions Cup. Hasn't scored too many tries. Halfpenny for the touchline. It doesn't make any difference at all.
Great movement of the ball. Again, keeping up defences thinking all the time. They're so powerful from the middle, from the back. This time they go round. Matt Smith going, do you really need to go for the television? Match official, Ali Williams applauding. It's all a big team effort here. They've got a big squad. They've also got big hearts, and they will enjoy that. Like I said, thoughts can now go to Parker Scarlett. Well, to Llanelli for next week. But they are through, am I right, Mr. Hammond? With my very, very bad...
Well, I mean, it's still half an hour to go, isn't it?
Well, yes. Horses and bolted and all that razzmatazz, but if it was to stay this...
They have to win.
Yes, but if it was to stay this way...
They are through, indeed. Thank you. First team through. The reigning champs. There's Still some rugby to be played here. And Ulster still giving it a go, aren't they? Payne, nice angle from in. Humphries just can't quite hold on to it. And it has been an issue for Ulster this afternoon, holding on to that ball, keeping control of it. Julius Board was interviewed by the host broadcaster just after half-time whistle went, and he was talking about control, and both sides have lacked control at times.
Well, Toulon in the first half, they've had, 60% possession in that first half, so again, it's just those little moments that can
ready? Are we ready? Yeah.
Just change the outcome of a game. I don't think much is going to change in this game. Ulster came into sort of very big underdogs, but they fought hard and they fought well. And they've asked a few questions with the auxiliary himself, Gord Gudsy, whether he'll be on. That's the sort of weapon they've got. They can just,
second row down. Okay.
It's like for like.
You
know, it doesn't weaken if they bring players on. It's almost like for like. So.
Sure.
Yeah, Robbie Diak is up. Fitzpatrick as well.
Forward off white scrum, red ball.
Both internationals. Robbie Diak playing against Georgia in the autumn internationals. A few caps, isn't he, Brian Habana? 106 now, South Africa's most cap wing. And he's been talking about extending his contract here.
Why wouldn't you? Win inside, you're winning European Cups. It's fantastic. From an Ulster point of view, now they've just got to keep going, keep the patterns going. They've got a big game next week against the Tigers, and then concentrate then onto the Pro 12. So it's just that playoff position in that league at the moment. But again, there's a lot of heart there. Youngsters had a great run out against one of the best sides. Well, it is the best side in Europe. Back-to-back European champions, Toulon.
Crouch! Down his third in the top 14 at the moment. 10 wins for the 16 rounds.
Set!
Big scrum from Toulon. Declan Fitzpatrick, his first involvement. Marceau to the sport. There's a gap there, wasn't there? And Sanchez took full advantage. Saw it. And that's how Sanchez has been playing all afternoon. Heads up rugby. Julius Sport. One of those sort of kick passes. Hoping he was going to find Brian Habana. Mike Allen is thumped to the ground for the World Cup winning winger.
Tackler was slow. Red off.
From their own 22 down to the opposition 22. They may have conceded a try, but that is how Toulon could break away from their own half.
Tackler has to be quicker. On your feet, Red.
It's fair enough from Leighton Hodges. You had a word with Chris Marceau about 5 or 6 minutes ago about rolling away at the breakdown.
And this is Taylor's ball with a break, really. You can see Momar's absolutely eating up the ground on his right-hand side. He puts his arms out saying, well, why didn't you pass? He almost went for the...
Yes.
Well, it's a hard kick at the best of times, but when you're flat out, to kick to a winger into the corner is very difficult. You can see the pace of the man. You can see Momar's now coming up. There he goes. That's the pass. I think Diak would have had him. But good covering. Good covering from Ulster. They've done well. They've scavenged. They've struggled to get back on times, but they've scrambled pretty well.
Brescia on for Chocky. So Toulon on 18 match points as it stands in Pool 3. And Toulon to win this game. 24 points to make up Ulster. They will be the first team qualified for the quarter-finals.
Tackler away!
Sure, I can see any way back for Ulster, but stranger things have happened. Julius Sport now sniffing as well. And Ulster know they have to take it to Toulon. It's the only way to try and beat them.
They do, but if they're going to play the passing game from their own 22, they have to be a bit more precise. They've got some good kickers out. Pienaar kicks, obviously Humphries. You know, you don't want the score to go really sort of northwards too quickly. They're still in it. They still keep to the patterns. That's all they have to do. And don't give silly penalties away, which unfortunately they have just done.
What will they do here?
They're off. Jouet, I think it's called.
For the Sport, Habana. There was space there. Up against Heaney, isn't it? A scrum half. There's 3 scrum halves on the field for Ulster, such has been their injuries. Paddy Jackson, Ludic. Oh, Toulon board again. Good white wall for Ulster though. Mitchell flicks it up to Suter. In the moment, Toulon going backwards, but so much composure out there. That's what you get from over 500 caps and is just your starting 15 alone. Bastera corrects a driving ball virtually single-handedly. Toulon's board is there now. Sanchez. Suter always looks for the offload, doesn't he? Mermoz, wonderful hands from him. Castro Giovanni. Halfpenny. Smith. Habana. Just on the inside tracking line, wasn't it? We've seen Brian Habana do that so many times in a green shirt and in a red shirt. Fessia, the birthday boy, 22 today. The latest man to take it into the guts of Ulster. Sanchez, there's Habana again. Looking for that offload, it's brilliant. Mitchell, here come the champions again. Simply brilliant from Toulon. So much class, so much rugby ability. They are a joy to watch at times.
Well, I think that says it all. They just bide the time, bide the time. There is enough class out there to, oh dear, to lift another trophy as far as I'm concerned. I picked them at the beginning of the season and I'm not going to waver. There's a lot of rugby to be played. Other teams will have a say on this, but when they want to play, they play like no other. And as Habana just comes on again, the combination of the wingers, Drew Mitchell just coming in, the big crash of Masoe, presentation of the ball. And this is after some very good play earlier on in that move. Armitage can just afford to hang their open side out on the wing. The interplay between Suter and Giovanni down this left-hand side was sumptuous.
And a Habana offload to Mitchell. You just keep going on and on. Wonderful moments in that Stefan Armitage try. Wow. 39, this to go over the 40-point mark. Lee Halfpenny slips. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yep. Again, it's good movement of the ball. Back inside, different angles. Again, the wingers combining the
9, 6 and 13.
The bullish run of Masoe.
9, 6
Mitchell's in to clear out, and then it's just a matter of, it's a numbers game, isn't it? And as
13.
Ulster have offloaded the bench,
13.
Toulon are doing the same, so he's giving everyone a go. People are having a rest. Tila's boards off. Juan Smith again at the heart of everything that has been good.
For God's sake, Tila's board, you say that, and Smith coming off Bastero. Really shower for him as well. Well, Godzi on, really Wolf is on. It's Kanyi as well at scrum half, 41 points to 10. Humphreys backwards for Ulster. Halfpenny faultless with the boot today. Faultless in clearing up those loose balls as well, where they've been along the ground.
No, he's straight.
High,
you took
up in the air. Oh, it's brilliant again. It's the front rowers this time. That was Fessia and Castro Giovanni. Now it's Orioli, and now it's Habana. Oh, what a score! What a score from the champions!
No obstruction, he's gone straight.
For God's sake, he's only just come on the field. What brilliant rugby! You would be a brave man to bet against this lot not lifting a third straight title.
Well, Jared Payne went up to the ref and said his obstruction, and it wasn't Jared. That was just my loss for words. It's just big forwards, just acting like half-backs, acting like centres. Orioli, I said he likes to carry the ball. He carries the ball brilliantly. Habana back inside. The subs have just come on, combining superbly well. and Godzilla goes in at the corner. One of the tries of the season so far, without a shadow of a doubt. And that boy can kick it with while he's falling on his backside as well, Leah Penny. So I'll give him these 2 points.
Sensational rugby football from Toulon. Halfpenny. There's 2 more. Orioli with a dummy. Lovely pass to Banner. It's a brilliant angle from him. As Ganni's only just come on. Good God, he finishes off. But it was the interplay between the props Castrogiovanni and Florian Fresia.
But it's also the ability to be at flat in the line, almost like a 10. That's what Castrogiovanni did then, because he attracts players. It's not 2 or 3 yards back behind when you don't attract anybody at all. People have to go into the sort of tackle area. Ulster doing well then, just to hold it up, but it's just they're holding back the tide at the moment. Like I said, it was going to be a difficult afternoon, and if they didn't attack, and they've done their fair share of attacking, to be fair, I felt they'd be pushed back into the Mediterranean. It looks it looks very much like that at the moment, because they've just got something about them today. And like I said, on times in that first half, Toulon were not out of second gear, but there is so much quality, so much pace, so much power, that there's something to behold on times.
Going up from 5:30 on Sky Sports 2, Lens against Cast. Of course, from Pool 2 in there with Harlequins and Ross, and Sale against Clermont's on the red button if you prefer. Clermont's visit to the AJ Bell Stadium follows this game here, but you won't want to turn over right
There's
now.
a little small one going on again. Miko Gadzi from Georgia.
Easy for you to say.
Easy for me to say.
Find! Set! No, we've gone back down both sides.
48 points to 10.
Well, the bookies got it wrong, because they said they were 21 points
Don't let things get
favourites.
scrappy, okay? Don't pre-engage. And don't go before the set. Understand?
Well, it's difficult. You've got to admit Ulster. I know everyone, sides do make excuses, but they've had horrendous injuries. And they've rested frontline players, but I've got to say, even with your top squad, it's a difficult place to come. Toulon. We've been down here many times, Johnny, haven't we? Seen that game against Glasgow, and Gregor, they fancied it. They really fancied it, and they got blown away in 40 minutes.
A really good side, Glasgow. They're proving that
Absolutely.
again this season. Through the last season, in the Pro 12 final.
And they were frustrated with themselves because they are a better side than that showed 2 years ago. But unfortunately, they just even couldn't get into the game in the first 40 just to slow the ball up. That's if these guys have got it about them, and they have on times. I mean, especially the second half, first half in and out. But when they go, they don't want to let anyone down, and that's what I like about Toulon. And even with Hernandez coming, I said in the first half, sometimes he can go in and out of games, and mostly out of it rather than in. He's not allowed to.
Time
the
off.
Crowd won't let him have it, for the players around it. That sort of inner squad that they have down here, that they've got to perform to the best ability. And as we know, everyone wants a piece of them in France. Every time they go out, top 14, they want the Devils, isn't they? That's what they're called.
Suter. Guadzi on, and Callum Black is on as well for Ulster. For Andrew Warwick, 23-year-old prop, will have enjoyed his afternoon. Pierre Mignoni speaking to Brian Havana. Pierre Mignoni just in the process of talking about a new contract. The coach doing something right, aren't they? I mean, there's so much rugby knowledge, so much rugby now, Stowe. It's always subconscious the way that they play the game. They know there's going to be someone there because that would be the right thing to do.
Yeah, exactly. And also doing the right thing at the moment, holding up all the big fellas in there.
Entry White.
But it's gone against Ulster initially. And this will be plopped into the corner.
You don't plop anything down. You're wearing those snazzy boots.
That's a plop into the corner. All right.
What's the entry? Okay, on that side.
And also just trying anything now, aren't they, to try and
just come right
repel this wave after wave of red attack.
But you mentioned Warwick before. They had a pretty good afternoon. They've been under the cosh. They would have been under the cosh The Ballymena club can be very proud of him. He's done a good job, and they've all done a good job. You learn from the experiences, and most times you learn when you've had a little bit of a drubbing and a bit of a kicking. You know, it's part and parcel of rugby, it's part and parcel of growing up, part and parcel of life.
They won't forget today, will they? Great experience. Toulon driving towards that line again, driving towards a home quarter final. Stefan Armitage. Nothing was going to stop that driving more. Every facet of the Toulon game well oiled and functioning supremely here this afternoon.
Well, Stefan likes to smile at the best of times. He's got a big grin on his face there, but he can thank the big red bus that's in front of him. Ulster guys forward just splintering all over the place, just power upon power, and like I said, it's like for like coming on. The Gadzi comes on, and it's, you know, there isn't a weakness. Doesn't look very happy, does he? Oh dear.
8 from 8 for Halfpenny. Getting back into that form as some injuries troubling him. Some regular game time. Such exalted company. Have to perform your role, and one of his main roles is kicking those goals. Another training ground move, isn't it?
Well, we've seen him go around the front and score with Castro Giovanni. We've seen him go through the middle. We've seen him go wide. You know, they can do whatever they want. It's a good set piece. And you put that on with incredible amount of try. How many is that now? 2, 3, 7. Thanks, mate. And you know, with Halfpenny's kicking, there's some side. Well, we knew there was some side anyway.
Stay.
Watch out.
Here we go. Halfpenny. Do like to break.
They actually gone the wrong way. There's massive holes now on that right hand side.
Orioli. The second fly off, isn't he? Charles Orioli. Marsoe. Rudy Wolf, and now Mermoz. Up to that 22 again. Sanchez.
Advantage White.
Can't hold on to the ball this time. And Ulster,
Advantage over.
breathe a sigh of relief. They would have wanted this one slightly near the touchline, because Habana says, well, we'll just play on. And Mitchell, the party pooper, kicks it.
I don't think Habana fancied going 70 metres actually. He gave it to the other wing and said, right, your decision. But Heaney did the right thing initially by kicking that ball down there.
Peanut showed what a quality player he is, Ruben Peanut, on the back foot for majority of the afternoon, but he's been everywhere. There's Marshall and Humphreys. That was a lovely line from Cave. McComish. It's Candy. Great pickup from Alan O'Connor. Peanut goes left. Humphrey stabs it through. Oh, it's a really nice score from Ulster.
What?
Jared Payne.
Wait, time off.
But the officials want to check it. Assistant referee came in.
Sybil, can you hear me? Could you just make sure that the white player wasn't in front of the kick, please?
I think you can all hear that. He's looking for the offside. It's ironic because Payne had asked initially for a try to be looked at from Ulster. McCormash has been good today. You mentioned O'Connell backing up. They haven't given up. Ulster, they've just been outgunned with all their injuries as well. Pina going from right to left. I think that's it from there. No, you're not going to see it from that angle. I think from my viewpoint here, Jared Payne was from behind. He's an experienced player. He wouldn't have pushed himself forward otherwise. It's a lovely little dink. You're not going to see it from this angle either. The host broadcaster's not giving the TMO much. Many good pitches at the moment, but it's good play, good offload play. You can see Pina, they're calling for it right as we look at it. He goes left, right on the field. They deserve that, and it was very nice. The Toulon crowd applauding when Payne scored that. They do appreciate good rugby. Obviously, they prefer it when they're scoring tries, but they've played a part in this atmosphere, which has been superb this afternoon or early evening now, coming into. This is it. As Humphreys kicks it, he's fine. He's absolutely fine. Because I said about Jared Payne's experience, he holds back and he stops moving. Okay. That's clear and obviously a try, a correct decision.
Well, Ulster already lined up.
But it is, because Payne, like I said,
the screen, mate, I can't talk to you. Yeah.
He's basically just said, right, okay, kick it through. There's an overlap, so I don't have to be forcing myself to get ahead of you. I'll just stay there and you put it on the plate and I'll pop it down. And that's what he did.
And everything in your body, every fibre is telling you to run after the ball. He's done well. Jared Payne, who's had started the afternoon back at fullback, hadn't he? Many argue that's his best position. Played at 13 with Robbie Henshaw for Ireland in the autumn series. Ruben Pienaar to get the first kick at post this afternoon for Ulster. Still can't trouble the uprights. Lee Halfpenny, on the other hand, hasn't missed a thing.
One more try and then Ulster away with a bonus point. Scoring 4 tries, good play from the forwards. A lovely dink with the left foot from Humphreys, and a good grounding, and a correct grounding, a correct decision, and a good try from Payne. And for what's it worth, I think he's a better 15 than 13 personally. I think he's an outstanding 15. He orchestrates things very, very well.
Taken in.
And this is where Ulster going to. Sorry, Johnny, but this is where Ulster going to be a bit careful as well, because Toulon will just be ready to pounce and ready to turn over. And you just watch Armitage out there.
David Smith now on the field, wearing 21. He's going to link with Halfpenny. Is he here? Yep. Oh, it explodes. Soft it does. Not liked by the crowd. It was round the neck, and now Leighton Hodges, who has quietly gone about his excellent business again this afternoon. The referee communicates superbly, always does. Momos. Oh God, see it. Sanchez has gone off, and he's provided real fulcrum, isn't he? Nicolas Sanchez this afternoon.
Time off for a second.
Who's playing 10 now? Castro.
Time is off.
Orioli.
Good Gadsy.
Captain.
The ref wants a word. I think there's a bit of chat going on.
It's nothing more than just a high tackle, okay? It's not a feature of the game, we just don't let it creep in now, okay?
Okay, just been spoken to again. It's sensible refereeing. They wanted to creep into the game now in the 71st minute.
High tackle.
It hasn't been, it's been a good game. Ulster have been outgunned, but it's been fair, it's been hard, it's been physical, but it hasn't been dirty at all. And that's Halfpenny's worst kick of the night, and that was a kick to touch.
2.
And there's Smith with his sevens expertise just being held up. And again, he'll be frustrated. He wants as much game time as he possibly can. Just another one of those guys in his 4th season enjoying it out here. Rudy Wilf as well. He's getting in his 5th season. They just love it over here. And the crowd going with the Mexican wave. Why not?
You're talking about physicality. No, it's that physicality that first half. They won every physical battle going, didn't they, Toulon? That first 40 minutes. And it showed in the second half. Marshall, his pass blocked. Stevenson from a Harlequin. Interesting tussle against Wasps, haven't they?
Advantage over
tonight.
That will be a good game.
Jared Payne.
Talking to Buster White, who's the sighting commissioner.
Oh, the irony.
Oh, the I know. Gamekeepers, poachers and all that. A bit like Wade Dooley. But Mr. Peter Winterbottom's flying out. He's got some clients over here apparently. I said, yeah, fine. But they're trying to find a place to go and watch it. It will be, I think, riveting viewing.
Here come Ulster again. And they refuse to give up, don't they? Ulster, such a proud province. Proud history, of course. Heineken Cup champions in 1999.
Good ball.
It was a lovely ball, wasn't it? Heaney. Put on his backside by Mitchell. Cornish Big man hardly gets a chance.
He's done well. He's done well today. Living off scraps. He's carried well. Scored a try. He can hold his head up.
But they've turned it over Toulon here. I think it was Stefan Armitage. For God's sake. Dreadful knee injury. Here's Marceau. My mistake. Tara Fifanoa with the turnover. Armitage is involved in that ruck. Oh, God's sake.
Good.
Takes 3 ultimate to stop him, let alone tackle him.
No, he's away from the ball.
Marceau, again, that offloading ability, and there's Castro Giovanni again, always trying to look for that offload, and eventually he gets it away. Halfpenny, ball back behind, it's Mermoz now. O'Connor, Scandi, Halfpenny again.
Brilliant.
Blink of an eye, Halfpenny has dropped that onto his foot, sliced it through the defensive line of Ulster and put them right back in their own 22 again.
Just a wee bit too hard, wasn't it? I thought it was going to stand up brilliant for Mitchell, but Ulster, as ever, not giving up. They're coming back, they're fighting till the end.
Pina, who took the quick line out, Komish. Pina again. Okay, but that's Humphreys. Heaney. There's Marshall. There's 2 of the scrum halves. Payne. Trying to do it all by himself. Into Cave. Halfpenny just held off Payne brilliantly. Lead Halfpenny.
Got it backwards.
Mermoz.
Backwards.
He's now turned it over. Brian Havana.
He was 9. He
Kicks
ripped
it
them back.
straight out. Rory Diak doesn't like the decision. Nigel Brady, former hooker, looks on for Ulster.
Very intelligent player, isn't he, Payne? He does exactly the right thing. He knows he's going to be caught in touch. Referee allows that. Just drops it there, goes back inside a banner and retrieves the ball.
Super.
Okay.
Fullback play from Lee Halfpenny. Hits Jared Payne. Payne may well have been away. It was a 2-on-1, but Halfpenny covered both. Brian Havana trying to claim that it came off an Ulster hand. This is the tackle earlier.
Can react.
Mitchell on Michael Heaney.
Stay 7.
A scrappy line out ball. Clears up well in the end. Mitchell has slipped. So Ulster progress towards that Toulon 22.
Stay out. No, stay out.
Halfpenny slips on that far side, which allows them to get just behind, but again, they can't.
Side.
And they've gone quickly here, Marshall and Cave. This would be a bonus point here, wouldn't it, if they score again? Payne. Diak. Can't hold on to it.
Not 10.
Tries to throw it out the back door with his right hand. He can get control of the ball, but they're not 10, so that quick tap. You see Nicolas Sanchez on the match.
First defence 7, entry. Second offence, not 10.
Get a long season, you got a bit to play yet. Is he sulking in? He didn't get it. He didn't have a particularly good game. Bastro, apart from that rolling try, but Sanchez, brilliant going forward, don't get me wrong. There is some question marks about his defence.
No, you come right on and swing your leg.
And I think it's party time on the bench.
It's that man next to Ryan Smith, isn't it? And Stefan Armitage, who on a couple of occasions today have got their fly half out of jail with some covering tackles, but controlling things going forward, lightning quick hands at times, some brilliant heads up rugby.
But you think about it, going into the top 14 in this competition, there's Michel out, well he is, got Hernandez obviously in the top 14, he's eligible. Who am I missing?
Gitto,
that little genie. But this is good from Ulster. They could get a 4th try and a point, and they deserve it. Get down. Well done.
There's a bonus point for Ulster for scoring a 4th try. And we feared for them, didn't they, coming here, if they will admit, not the strongest team. Resting some frontline players. McComish again with the try, his 2nd of the afternoon. We feared for them, but they could go away from the Mayor with their heads held high. Ulster outclassed certainly, but their pride well and truly intact.
They've never given up, and that's what you want from a coaching perspective, from a supporter's perspective. I mean, going around the front, oh, we're going to get beaten today. And I thought, yes, you will get beaten, but it's the manner you get beaten in. And the scoreline, when if people haven't seen this game, think it's an absolute whopping. Well, yes, there's a lot of tries too, but with the injuries that they've had again today, with the personnel they've rested, I think it's been pretty good to carry this on. Obviously, Tigers at home next week, and then the Pro 12. McComish getting his second try. And like I said, they can all have a couple of pints tonight and enjoy that, because they've been on the end of a little bit of a beating from an incredibly talented, experienced and fantastic Toulon side.
And there have been some wonder scores in there. A little burst of tries.
No, he's a tackler.
Godzian, Armitage. Armitage got two in this second half, isn't he?
Some more!
That's brilliant from David Smith there, because if you're the tackling play, you can get up and go on the wrong side and compete for the ball. It's exactly what he did. Ulster appealed for it. Referee said no, he's on the right side.
Pull it in
It's
by
a
White.
massive scrap, Mamos on the floor for that ball. It's Candy, they know it's on our White. Godzik with the offload. Stefan Armitage, it's hat-trick time! Second half hat-trick for Stefan Armitage.
Pulling in by White.
Rounded up very nicely, thank you very much. The champions, well and truly, in the quarterfinals now. One round still to go.
There's just one slight problem. There's no papers, more papers to throw up in the air. Smith doing well on two occasions there. One for the initial turnover. The ball goes over. Gogadzi just buys the time, and it could have been the ball back outside. He didn't want it. With his power and strength, he gets a hat-trick. It's a team effort. He's been on the end of a few. He's done his job. Smiles all round. They will go on to bigger and better things, Toulon, but they are some side. Sorry to go on about it, but again, they've won me over. You can either love or loathe them, but I tell you what, you've got to admire them. They have a brutish beauty, as I said before, and they've shown it this afternoon.
Chap Delmas screaming. Something onto the field. Penny has missed.
No, he hit the post. Come on.
He's human.
He was actually aiming for that right, because I just saw someone come over, but he 50p. You can't hit that right post.
That's €0.50, Darren.
Okay.
Penny's first miss of the afternoon. 60 points to 22. Yes, their inevitability about this result. I don't know whether Toulon could get the bonus point. Nobody's ever come here and won. Orioli once more. Chased down by Ruben Pienaar. Puts it inside, but it's gone full. What pace on the hooker though. Pienaar had to put on the afterburners, didn't he? But that is it. 8 tries to Toulon. To an unprecedented third consecutive title, and you would be very, very brave to bet against them doing it. Toulon, the